What if I told you that most of what you actually do doesn't really matter? Now, that's the whole idea behind the Pareto Principle. You've probably heard of it as the 80-20 rule. It is an absolute secret weapon for high performers, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it to get way more done with a whole lot less effort. Let's dive in.
So just think about this for a second. This isn't just some clever idea. It's something that shows up almost everywhere. Seriously, from how wealth is distributed to the bugs in a piece of software, this 80-20 split is a constant. And I guarantee, once you really see it, you will never look at your to-do list the same way again.
So here's the deal. In pretty much everything you do, there's a small handful of what we call the vital few activities that are delivering the lion's share of your results. Everything else, well, that's just the trivial many. You know, the busy work that fills up your day but doesn't actually move the needle. Your job is to figure out what your vital few are and then protect them from the trivial many at all costs.
Okay, so how do we actually apply this to you? Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess you're not a beginner here. You're already playing the professional game at a pretty high level, and you've got the toolkit to prove it.
You've already got your vision and mission locked in. You've done your SWOT analyses, you know your KPIs inside and out, you're probably running your work in agile cycles, and you get systems thinking. I mean, your professional toolkit is absolutely stacked. But there's a problem.
And that problem is focus. With all those amazing tools and all those tasks piling up, how in the world do you decide what to do first? How do you separate what's truly important from all the noise? That right there is where the 80-20 rule comes in. It's the ultimate filter for your focus.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's get practical. We're going to put the 80-20 rule to work in your life right now.
Before I throw some examples at you, just do a quick mental check. Think back over the last month or so. What were the 2 or 3 things you did that really made a huge difference? You know, the things that got you noticed or pushed a key project forward or just made you feel genuinely proud. Got 'em? Okay, that's your 20%.
So think about it at work. It's that one big presentation that landed you the project, not the 50-plus emails you answered that week. It's that single 2-hour deep work session that sparked the breakthrough idea, not the 10 hours you spent in status update meetings. That is your 20% in action.
And you know, it's not just about what you do, it's about what you know. You could spend your time dabbling in a dozen different skills, or you could become a true master of 1 or 2 that are in super high demand. Which sounds better, being a jack of all trades or a master of the one skill that pays the bills and then some?
And this goes for your life outside of work too. That 30-minute workout you do every morning, that probably does more for your overall health than every supplement you could possibly take. That quick weekly check-in call with your mentor, that's the 20% that strengthens your entire career network. It's always about finding the small hinges that swing the really big doors.
Okay, so you've identified your 20%. Now what? Well, this is where the magic really starts to happen. It's time to turn that insight into real action and start seeing the rewards.
Just look at this. On the left, you've got the hamster wheel of effort-based thinking. You're just running and running. You feel productive, but you're not actually going anywhere. But on the right, you've got the power of leverage-based thinking. Now you're using a small, focused amount of effort to move a giant rock. That's the shift we're talking about.
So how do you make this a habit? I call it the leverage loop. It's simple. First, you identify your high-leverage 20%. Ask yourself, which tasks get the most praise? Which clients bring in the most revenue? What activities give you the most energy? That's your starting point. Second, you prioritize it relentlessly. And third, you get absolutely ruthless with the rest. Eliminate it, delegate it, or automate it. That's it. A simple 3-step process that will completely change how you work.
And you know what? It's not just for you and me. This 80-20 rule can be a total game changer for entire companies. Let's take a quick look at a classic example. Microsoft.
Do you remember the Zune or the Windows Phone? Yeah. Back in the early 2010s, Microsoft was just throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to be everything to everybody. And guess what? It wasn't working. They were losing ground, their stock was flat, they were a perfect example of a company that was drowning in the trivial many. And then, Satya Nadella took over as CEO and everything changed. He made a huge bet. He decided to go all in on the cloud with Azure and to double down on their core enterprise software. He found Microsoft's vital few, and he was willing to sacrifice the trivial many to protect it. It was a massive risk, but man, did it pay off.
And the rest is history. Microsoft is now one of the most valuable companies on the planet, and it's all because they had the courage to just focus on their 20%. The lesson for you is simple.
If you want to achieve massive results, you have to get really comfortable saying no to the things that just don't matter. Okay, let's bring it all home. We've covered a ton of ground, but it really all boils down to one simple idea. The Pareto Principle is your secret weapon for getting more of what you want with less of what you don't. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. Not all effort is created equal. Some of the things you do are worth 10, 20, maybe even 100 times more than others. Your job is to find those golden nuggets and treat them like the absolute treasures they are.
You know, when you really start to focus on your 20%, 3 incredible things happen. Your focus becomes laser sharp. Your energy is protected because you're not wasting it anymore. And your results, they start to compound. It's a triple threat that will absolutely transform your career. So as we close out, I want to leave you with one question to chew on. What is your vital few? What is that 20% of your life that's actually creating 80% of your happiness, your success, and your fulfillment? Find it, focus on it, and just watch your world change. Because at the end of the day, thinking like a business isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about finding your leverage and using it to create the impact you were meant to have. Thanks for your time.